Hey everyone, my name is Simpzy. How you all doing? Welcome back to some more Medieval 2 Total War here today on the channel. We're back on the definitive edition of the game. We're back on stainless steel SSHIP. Here today in episode 3, we're going to have a war with Scotland. So, if you'd like the sound of that, feel free to leave the video a like and subscribe if you're new. I'd really much appreciate it. Alright, we're 24 turns into the series. We've managed to take Wales, and now we are moving north. We managed to take Dunedin in the last episode, with Gregory Plantagenet and Stefan Diabolus. Now, unfortunately, Fergus and the Scottish clans have united and marched south after we destroyed their army, their faction leader and heir. We managed to take their capital. They still have one settlement in the north, but in SSHIP, when you take capitals of factions, armies spawn. So we're going to have to deal with them here today and defend our newly conquered territory. So we are a little bit exhausted, fatigued here today, and then we're going to be one step closer to annihilating Scotland and bringing Scotland and Wales into the fold. Then we'll make plans and preparations to go over to Wales. So I hope you like the sound of that. But I'm having an absolute blast on this mod as we set up this siege. Now, we do have reinforcements coming in. There could be a strategy here. Now, if you are getting sieged in Medieval 2 and you need to offensively push out, sometimes you can bait the army to attack you even though you're under siege, and you can use the walls and arrow towers to your advantage. It works a lot on the easier difficulties, particularly with cavalry. You can bait them towards the walls, but we'll see if they take the bait. Okay, so even moving, who essentially should be the king, Gregory Plantagenet, archers up on the walls. Now, our reinforcements are going to be deploying on the high ground up here. So we're going to have to watch out for them. Okay, they actually might be rotating. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Feedback and suggestions for this series. Where you'd like me to expand and conquer. We've got a firm alliance with the French at the moment. I'm trusting them, which is good. They're not backstabbing me. That's good. There's like realistic, historical, and sensible alliances that you can get in this mod. We had to give Angers up, but it was worth it. We also have an alliance with the papacy, so it doesn't look like they're going to attack. Okay, so unfortunately, our archers here are being a little bit bottlenecked on the way out. Let's go with something like this. That's a bit better. And we might be able to take some pot shots. So far, testing on very hard, the unit quality of England. Our archers are our bread and butter. They are so good, particularly coming up against the Welsh and Scots. From what I found is, like, although they are rebel kingdoms, because of their so strong individual, unique units, they're actually quite tough. They outbeat us on the infantry, which is surprising. Even the archers for the Welsh. There's even some crossbows for the Scots and the pikes, so it's a pretty good counterbalance. We just have numerical supremacy on them, and we have the production. Like, we have the entirety of England under our control that we can focus and funnel up there. I'm quite lucky that we haven't been drawn into a full-blown European land war just yet. Just going to do the Simpzy fold here, where you make a front line and put 2 to 3 units folding in to protect the flanks. And what we'll do with our archers is maybe push them up and over the front line. We'll see. Okay, so for whatever reason, they have just completely abandoned their siege equipment. Would you believe it? Alright, let's start taking some pot shots at them. Alright, we'll try and hit those. Hey, look at this, like a very heavy clansman. But here is the Scottish unit roster. Now, this army is probably going to be a better quality army build than what we've been facing already against the Scots, just because it's been spawned in. They're going to try and give them one last fighting chance. Now, I hope the papacy doesn't get involved. We do have an alliance with them and really good relations, but you never know. They might ask us to essentially ceased hostilities. Now we do have to be a little bit careful here because time is not on our side, so we'll just continue to try and skirmish them as best we can. I could go oh, that cavalry's moving up. Just got to be careful when I've got it on 6 times speed. Now we are just wiping out full amounts of individual units. It seems to be working. If we can get rid of all those clansmen, that'd be so good. I do quite like that, as you can see there, all the arrows have been firmly indented on the battlefield. That's a feature in stainless steel. But it's good to be back in Medieval 2. I feel like I can, I feel like the older Total Wars I can actually play with one hand properly. I'm actually not using a keyboard to play at the moment, just a mouse, which is so much better for my hand. Oh, hang on, no, we've run out of ammunition there. Yikes. Oh, hang on. I'm surprised they haven't closed the distance on us, to be honest. Oh, here they go now, charging in cavalry. Our Saxon and Norman spearmen should be able to hold against them. Now, we did lose a lot of casualties in the last battle just because they had so many generals. Thankfully, this time they've only got the one. Now, we have set our reinforcements to come in under my control. I could have got them to come in as reinforcements, but it's fine. Now we are playing with Gregory Plantagenet. Stefan Diabolus is coming in as reinforcements. Obviously eventually becoming King of England. So hopefully we don't have too many civil wars coming up either, because the family tree is quite split. But hey, history of England with civil wars and usurpers and whatnot. And obviously, funnily enough, Geoffrey Plantagenet eventually became king, but for some reason, I think it's gone to his son, Henry. Oh, hang on. So they seem to be, like, for some reason, moving one unit up at a time. I think they're trying to calculate the force behind them, which is technically on the battlefield, but it's not in. This is a bizarre battle. So we are fighting with the king's father. And potentially the next king in Stefan Diabolus. Alright, here they go. Now they're charging. I think it's because it's probably trying to simulate the Civil War. And, like, for example, like, I guess if you make Henry the heir, I think maybe it works better family tree-wise. From a historical set, I'm sure there's an argument. Because you start off the game playing as King Henry, and Stefan Diabolus is the prince. Once the first King Henry dies, because he's quite old at the start of the game, the Gregory's son becomes king. So I guess it pings back, potentially. Unless I stuffed up. I'm pretty sure I selected the heir thing properly. I do wish there was an ancillary that you could just give for the heir crown mod. Like, you can't... That was such a good mod back in the day. I wonder if anyone still has that. That you can't directly choose who's the next heir, but you can choose the successor with the heir crown. I think that's quite good. But family tree-wise, now that we're talking about it so much, we're not going to adopt anyone. The only way we can get some of those starting generals in is to marry them in, which I think is quite nice. They can have a blood tie. I want to try and play it like Crusader Kings as much as I can. It would be very, very rare to get an adoption unless... I don't know, it's a Chad general. I'm not the biggest fan of adopting generals in the medieval era. Rome, I can kind of get around it, because they didn't have... They weren't so, like, hell-bent on direct succession. Hell! Octavian was Caesar's nephew, after all. Okay, so we're starting to flank around here now with those units we put on the flanks. They're swinging around from their Simpzy fold position. We're starting to cycle charge there well, but unfortunately some of our individual units have been caught when facing really proper decent Scottish heavy infantry. Let's try and scramble here as well. But I never said it was going to be easy conquering Scotland. I really quite like how slow and methodical you have to be with this mod. Like, this is absolutely going to halt us from completely wiping Scotland off the map. I like it. I like it a lot. It reminds me of DEI. Like, you've got to be super methodical about your units. You've got to be super careful who and where you recruit. And we're facing a minor faction, and we're struggling. Also, Scotland is so far away. Our supply lines are quite stretched. So I can't wait to see once we're in a full-scale war with... We're going to have to go to war with France at some point. Potentially the HRE. Depending who sort of pushes over the Pyrenees, will it be the Moors? Hopefully we've pushed them back, though, now with that crusade. Our first crusade in the last episode. Alright, good. I think they're broken here now. Stefan Diabolus is now in here. The Prince. In the sort of split cadet branch. I don't know too much about William the Conqueror's sons. It wasn't my... Well, medieval history. Pretty much from 1066... early Middle Ages to late. Wasn't really sort of my area of expertise at uni. I sort of just skipped all over that. I know and studied more about Roman antiquity. Greece and Rome. And then skipping like all the way to late 1800s. I think it sort of just depends on the teachers you get. One of my main lecturers was like super into the Napoleon era and Napoleon Wars and stuff, which was kind of cool. It was something I didn't know too much about either, but done a fair bit of work in that. And then obviously just the World War I and II. The World Wars. How could you not? Did a little bit of Cold War stuff. I don't know what to do with all my essays. I've got so many of them. It's like... It's just a bunch of content that I've got sitting on a hard drive. pieces I wrote and stuff for the university. I don't know if I should make them into videos or something. I don't know. I just tend to talk about them briefly throughout series and stuff. But anyway, getting sidetracked. Really good battle against the Scots. Oh, 7,000 for a ransom. We'll accept that. Oh, they accepted. What? That's so much money. Oh, wow. Okay, and a fair few have fled. Let's quickly do a save. We don't want to have a game crash. Crikey. Alright, so let's sort of take a breather. So we do want to try and go for their last settlement. We've got a whopping 7,000 in the bank, but we did manage to let a couple hundred go. The thing is, you've got to be really careful about your reputation in this mod. Usually I would sack settlements for the additional money because population was so easy to farm in vanilla, but you don't want your reputation to sour. Now, after that fight, we will need some additional reinforcements just to push into that final settlement. We want to try and run them down, but we don't want to overextend ourselves as well. Reginald Cornwall, for example, I want to try and get him married into our family tree, along with de Mandeville. I think it's Mandeville. I think it's de Mandeville. Spies heading down to Morocco. Yes, because we want to try and get a ceasefire with the Moors. I have no ambition of being at war with them. I don't think they're going to send a Moorish armada north. We've still got our one piece of territory in Normandy, where we're holding such a strong military presence. Some of you guys were a little bit upset that I managed to give Castle Angers back to the French, but I think for an alliance it was more than definitely worth it. The thing is, having one unit there, essentially a stack split between two, I think it was putting the Normandy provinces at a massive disadvantage and very susceptible to any attack, not just from the French. Right, once again, we're still not going to adopt anyone, which will hinder us because we're not going to be able to put a bunch of generals into settlements and farm. Okay, here we go. So we've got Eustace Diabolus. He has now come in. He is one of Stephen's sons. So, looks like the Scots have moved an army here. Let's move you here. Okay, we're just trying to retrain at the moment because we've only got, well, we've got a full stack units-wise, but it is not healthy whatsoever. So he's quite young. Do I try and move him to Lincoln? He can probably govern from a settlement at some point. Alright, where were we? Oh, yep, back down in Spain. Let's negotiate with the Moors. Let's negotiate with the Moops. So, I would like some compensation. They're at war with so many factions. Like, is 3,000 a lot for ceasefire? Oh, okay. Well, that's a pretty far difference. I guess we'll just accept. I want peace, to be fair. Nice. That's done. Okay, so welcome to the top of the turn. Just made peace with the Moors. Now we need to push for this last Scottish settlement. So we're going to try and move our spy in. It does look like some of the forces actually moved back into the castle. Interesting. Okay. Well, let's mobilize north. And because we've moved our spy in, nice, we're not going to need to build siege equipment. Perfect. After leveling up early in the Scottish campaign. Alright, let's fight this one. Ooh, okay. We do outnumber them 2-1, but we're going to give future King Gregory... Well, he might not actually be the king, I don't know. We'll see. Because his son has kind of taken the title from him. The unofficial usurper. Alright, nothing too complicated here. Our infantry does look a little bit fragile, but thankfully our archers have opened the gates, so tactically these sieges have not been too difficult. Just need to try and push and storm on in. Now, I don't know if there's another settlement. I was saying it's Scotland last settlement. It might not be. Is Inverness? You'd think Inverness would be a castle. What would annoy me is if the Norwegians had it or something. So they might have more, or potentially they could even have Ireland. So we are going to rid them on like the core Scottish territory. Okay, so moving on up now. Infantry, still quite battered, but man, I do love how costly military campaigns are. We are essentially going to be down to a half a stack full fighting force in this series, so we are going to be quite susceptible to attack. So I think the plan is still focusing on Scotland, then we'll go to Ireland, and then we might look to expanding into Normandy and northern France, we'll see. There does seem to be quite a decent amount of rebel territory, at the start at least, even in vanilla Medieval 2. That territory around the Amsterdam, the Netherlands, Belgium region, just depends who's moved on in there. I don't think there are any city-states there. But we're still working towards our main victory conditions of bringing the entirety of the United Kingdom under our control, and then taking our historic territory in Aquitaine. And then, I don't know what's going to happen. Do we push into Iberia? Make an alliance with the Portuguese? That would be quite sensible, realistic, and, well, very historically realistic, as the English and Portuguese alliance is one of the very longest alliances, even to this day. Anglo-Lusitani relations. Hilarious. Alright, so our boys are slowly but surely flooding on into this Scottish castle. But man, oh man, this is going to be absolutely brutal. It hasn't been tactically too hard, but just like, jeez. The amount of soldiers we've lost is crazy. I've been noting my casualties in these battles. They have basically 3/4x'd compared to vanilla Medieval. So you've got to be super, super careful. We haven't had any like huge catastrophic defeats. We've had a couple close narrow calls, but yikes. This is only against essentially rebel towns, which are quite good. I'm sure there's probably weaker rebel towns, probably in Eastern Europe, maybe in the Far East as well. I'd love to see how the other factions are doing. How the Romans, how the Italian states are doing. We could also maybe, if we get to a point, send off some expeditionary forces. You know what would be kind of cool? So obviously got the Kingdom of Jerusalem. Imagine if we were to form our own sort of Principality of Antioch or something. Send someone down there, maybe to Cyprus, and help out in the Holy Land. Set up a base of operations in and around the Levant, potentially. Who knows? Maybe once our family tree grows quite a bit. Because we're still trying to grow it. I want to at least get one family member in every single province at some point. Okay, this, I said before, high casualties. My infantry is just crushed. Yikes, I gotta switch on here. Damn, Scots making me fight to the absolute bitter end. My archers actually drawing their short swords have been quite effective. We might need to move in Gregory Plantagenet in a moment, just to cycle charge. I've been a little bit hesitant to do so. I don't know if it is like my cavalry or just our Norman knights with our generals, but for whatever reason I feel like the numerical number of our mounted horse knights is just so low. Like sometimes it could be in like the high 50s and 60s, I swear. Because cavalry I'm not gonna lie. Generals and cavalry in vanilla Medieval 2 is such a crutch for me. I love creating those good old horse sandwiches. The cavalry's just so expensive. That's probably why our army's taking such a battering, because we are fighting with basic probably what would be D tier, F tier units. Just your bare sergeants, your occasional boiled leather soldier. We're not fighting with proper professional soldiers. They just cost so much. We do not have the economy to fuel it. But navy-wise, we haven't really spoken about it. I haven't noticed that much piracy or anything. I've been quite sensible about moving my ships into docks and trying to protect them from there. We've been able to move units up. We might lose this, actually. Ah, shit. Yikes, boys. This might be a throw, actually. Oh, god damn it. It's because of their pikes. Yeah, you know what? I think it might get to a point where we're going to have to tactically withdraw. Hang on. We were so close. It's like 2 units, man. Man. Yeah, this is probably going to be our first defeat. Or will it be if I withdraw? 23. I could try and cycle charge. I think there's just too many. Like, go to this high ground here and just try and cycle charge. We are risking Gregory Plantagenet, one of the kings, but I don't know, man. I feel like you have an attachment to generals, but you kind of got to use them as well. Oh! If we could somehow snipe their general, we might be able to swing it. Oh, no. Okay, right, it's gone down to 7, right. Disengage. Retreat! Flee for your lives. Yeah. Okay, right. We got it to 4. Right. You know what? You got to know when to hold them. And you got to know when to fold them. Alright. Let's go. Gregory, unfortunately, is going to take a L on this one. Gregory with a classic L. A classic Plantagenet L. Oh, no. Oh no, a rare Simpzy L. Oh, that's disappointing. Alright, well, we'll recenter, we'll recalibrate, and we'll be back for you next time, Scots. Mark my words. It's gonna be a Pyrrhic victory for them. They can have it. A crushing defeat. We did outnumber them 2-1. There's only 170 left. Yikes. That's unfortunate. Oh well, you live and learn. I just think that army that spawned, man, just absolutely put us through the ringer. Also, the first encounter with the Scots, they had 3 generals, man. Oh, they executed them, those scumbags. Wow. Oh, just bumped my mic there. Okay, what are we doing? I think we just... Can we... Oh, could I do it with this? Oh, maybe. Hang on. Because the spy's still there. I don't want him to get kicked out. Oh, no, I'm going to manually play this one. The auto-resolve as well is like super harsh. I don't think I've auto-resolved any battles. Like, they all need to be manually played. I think that's deliberate. Or maybe it's actually realistically showing Medieval 2's battles. Alright, let's jump back in. Let's fight this one. And hopefully we can just get up over the line. Now, we do have some Crusaders here. 46. The guy is coming from the crusade the Pope called in Morocco, Lamau. We've also got some Celtic Axemen here to help out, some archers, and then Stefan Diabolus, 32. The Prince is going to help on out. As Gregory Plantagenet and Stefan Diabolus, the 2 heads of their essentially respected family lines, are going to be the successful conquerors of Scotland. As what's his face of Gold? Was it Robert of Gloucester? Is now the Prince of Wales. He got that little fiefdom and fiefdom for his own. All right. So it looks a lot better on the campaign map. It's battle map. It's swung a bit compared to the campaign. All right, just need to get over the line. Man, we've had like 3 battles here today. Yeah, these sieges aren't too tactically difficult. They're just a bit of a grind. You do have to pick and choose where you commit forces and get some angles and stuff. But hopefully, here today, this is the last we'll see of the Scots on our island. And then we've got no factions to threaten us. Alright, can we... Oh, we can initiate the countdown. Oh, there's a unit there. Maybe if we charge it, it might be okay. Nice. We got him. We got their general. Oh god, I did panic a little bit. Hopefully that should change the tide. Just have to be a little bit cautious and careful here fighting units in that town square because they will fight to the end. Oh my god. Speaking of the end. Are we going to win this? Hang on. We need to get our archers in. All my infantry is crushed again, man. Oh, come on. If I don't win this, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to go nuclear. No, I think we're good. Okay, so I guess we try and pin down these pikemen. And get them to turn. Why are they facing the other way? Yeah, there we go. Turn, then swing the cavalry in. That's what we want. Go with a rally. 6 remaining in the general's bodyguard against pikes. It's not the best, but we just need to get rid of them. Come on! Oh my god, we won. Dude, ladies and gentlemen, that was so brutal. Strike up the drum and march courageously, men. Christopher Marlowe. That's a cool quote. And we've won. Oh my god. We marched up there with a stack and a half and now we're left with absolutely nothing. And a province capital has been renamed. Okay. Cool. And that's it. Alba has been destroyed. Okay, so there isn't another Scottish castle. I thought there might have been in the north. I mentioned Inverness. And they didn't like move over to Ireland either. Well, unfortunately on that note, it's time to end the video here. I've been playing for over an hour or so here today. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed the battle for Scotland. It was a fun one. So like and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to stay tuned for episode 4 coming out the exact same time tomorrow. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, all that jazz. It's free. Did you know liking and subscribing is free, guys? I hear that quite a bit. Anyway, stay tuned for more videos. I'm absolutely loving and adoring this mod. I'm having so much fun. I love these old Total Wars. And I would highly recommend SSHIP if you haven't played Stainless Steel in a couple of years and it's been a while and you're looking for a historical medieval mod. Alright guys, make sure to take care of yourselves. I gotta go. Have a fantastic rest of your day and I will see you in the next one. Cheers guys. Goodbye.